Hello and welcome to another live code hangout. Today we'll be continuing working on the Western Friend website. Our current goal is to write content importers. We've got a lot of content in the Drupal CMS. We're migrating from Drupal to Wagtail. To develop most of the features, we need to make sure that the content comes over without losing any important data, for example, images and some formatting and paragraphs and things like that. Most of the content is just HTML paragraphs and some image tags, some spans. There may be other cases that we'll have to handle, such as pull quotes. So the current idea is just to make sure that the cases we are handling already, pull quotes, images, paragraphs, they're behaving how we expect them. I can test that and have some confidence there to move on to the next stage of development. Wagtail just released 5.0.1. It looks like it was a mostly bug fix release. It's the patch version, so I've gone ahead and updated that. Here's our code coverage. It looks like there's a few of these smaller functions that I've recently kind of extracted from a larger context. And I can just add some simple tests and hopefully get some help from Copilot. I've gone ahead and updated my plugins over here recently as well. Specifically, Pylance had an upgrade. Maybe we'll have some performance improvements there. So the first step will be to create a branch. Basically, this has been an ongoing issue where I'm improving test coverage. We will pull up the issue over here. And these are the importers, and I'm working on the Molly Wingate blog importer. But, oh, did I accidentally close the issue? Maybe. Looks like I closed it by accident. Ah, yeah, the initial test suite for content importers. I'll go ahead and create one more pull request linked to this issue. So far I've gone through 3, just in bits and chunks. So I'm in the branch. Our content importers here are under the content migration app management commands. For whatever reason, the test coverage isn't picking up on these management commands. Maybe I've got some kind of an ignore file or something. But there's a lot of logic here, and when I look at codecov management commands, the only file of this here is this shared file, so that's kind of strange. You can see we started out with actually surprisingly high test coverage, mostly because we're writing framework code, and part of it is probably because it's not, for whatever reason, detecting these management commands, which are Python files. Which I suspect there's a significant amount of code here that would reduce our test coverage. Sounds like we can hear Pylance in the background, MyPy, checking out our code. I've just recently added more specific type analysis, trying to get more consistent about adding types to the code with MyPy's support. We will continue doing that. In any case, so we started with kind of high test coverage. I've done a little bit of work to improve that. I'm going to try to get these to register somehow. I wonder if there's like a setting here. Or I can't remember if I have a code coverage YAML. I actually don't need to collapse those. But, coverage RC. Should only be excluding the migrations. That's one thing. syntax here. You know, it might be good to get deep source to start analyzing this. I was able to get the Code Cove sort of GitHub action to work, and it's pretty good. We use this in my day job. But I believe Deep Source also has a test coverage plugin. Might give me a little bit different or better visibility. Oops, I didn't mean to open the virtual environment. Well, nonetheless, I'm not sure why it's not picking up coverage in my management commands. But it is picking up the shared. Oh, maybe it's because I haven't edited any of them. So I could like maybe nudge it. That's kind of weird though. Why? I am in the app. Okay. What was my coverage command? Yeah, I was thinking about it if it's something that's in it isn't picking up. Maybe there's something special about these management commands. So where are we at again? Blocks. There's an init here. There's an init pi there, but not here. So it could be that the coverage was able to pick up the shared one because I edited it in a pull request and now it knows to look for it. But perhaps since I'm adding this init pi here, and the management commands, I think I created this folder and just didn't put an init pi there. All right, cool. So let's get this Docker running. I forgot about that. Weird. It's oh, it's because it's already running, isn't it? My bad. What? Copy that. Oh, okay, yeah, I should have brought it closer. some kind of combination of those keywords on M1. I'm not running M1 though. I did a recent update. I'm not M1. Let me try just reinstalling it or updating it. Another problem is Homebrew is not good for multi-user system. Next. I remember how I installed Colima. I'm trying to switch over to Nix. Reproducible builds and deployments. I think this is cross-platform. Okay. Can't stop it when it's in motion. Let me check the chat over here. Welcome to the live stream. Trying to get my development environment started. Right now I'm having a little bit of troubles with Colima, which is a Docker UI alternative. I don't want the overhead of running Docker UI. I've already got quite a lot going on in the local environment, my computer, streaming and coding, things like that. So Colima is a little bit lightweight. I can just run it and then run Docker Compose up. There's a daemonless Docker Compose daemon or a service, sorry, not a service even, it's daemonless, but utility, I guess, that I'm looking towards, but I forget the name of that. I'm running Docker so that I can run a Postgres database without the overhead of having Postgres running on my computer all the time. There we go. Okay, still downloading. SQLite, virtualenv, everything. Recommit. Wow. It's like I'm committing. This is too heavy. I think I installed this on Mac OS X. Yeah, multi-user. I think this is more isolated and good, and has built-in multi-user support, which let's see if it's Colima. We'll start. Oh. Well, I can start Docker UI. Not a big deal. No, it is actually, because for some reason Docker stopped working. You know, I've just run some updates on my Mac today, and now things are breaking. 13.4 update I just ran a few hours ago. Maybe I need to reboot. Did Brew remove that and everything else that just came through? I wonder. So can we, yeah, there it is. Run this command. For whatever reason, that copying and pasting text into this shell on Mac, you often get this extra crap. Starting the Docker engine. This is where it has failed in the past. I think I switched over to Colima for that reason. And it's just slow. Can you remove it? Hope you back it up. Alright, cool. Nonetheless, we got Docker running. Please just work. Can I connect to the Docker daemon? Oh yeah, now because we're still running Colima. Even that. It's so weird. This is why I want to kind of remove Docker from this project, because just stuff like this is such a deal breaker. I need to develop my stuff. It's like supposed to be helping me develop, not getting in the way. I don't need to run this as root. Docker's supposed to be running. And is up to date. This is a Linux command. Don't think this will work. Mac. Nah, man. Alright, brew. It just runs all the time? When was this? 2017. Licensing change. I'm kind of just wanting to get away from Docker, and I was looking to Colima for that. Now Colima's breaking. Drupal base. 2018. Oh, bro. Colima. Yeah, right? Seems like it would be an ideal thing. But 2022. Okay, this is actually recent. Let's go for it. The whole thing, the whole shebang. Closing this. I just don't want the desktop to run it. Honestly, I don't want Docker to be running all the time either. I have other things I do on this computer. Not development all the time. I do a little bit of music, and no sense in having Docker running there. Hey, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. Let me know if you've got any suggestions about how I should move forward with the containerized developer experience. The need is relating to Postgres. I just need a Postgres database. I can't use SQLite for development now. I've got a few particular parts of the code that rely on some Postgres features. So I got to run it locally. And I'd also like this to be portable so other developers can contribute to this project. So Colima start. Please. Yeah, this is strange. All right. Maybe there's somebody experiencing this. No? It's a very specific error. And it doesn't need to have my stuff there, but Well, it's... Alright. Just remove the file. That's interesting. How about we move the file? I don't know how important that is, but I find moving things is better than removing them. Just in case. Like that. All right. Maybe it'll just work. Huh? No. Using the existing instance Colima. No. Didn't work for me. Colima list. Broken. Oh. Ah. Getting closer. Okay. All right. Getting, whoops. Stopped now. Good. Colima start. That's good. That's a good sign. It's basically doing the normal startup procedure. Okay, so this init. This is a different deal. I do need to get this test coverage reporting. In order to do that, in order to generate the coverage report, I have to have the database running so that I can run the tests or whatever. So a bit of a tangle working through it. And I don't know what I've changed now, but yeah, back to this. See if I can get this coverage to go down, because I know there's a lot of files that are untested. Hey. Yeah. Actually, these were red, I thought. Very cool. Okay, I've got... oh, hey, there's somebody in the chat. Let me hop over here and multi-stream. Welcome, Jacob. Restart. Hello, by the way. Yeah, restart the computer. That's always good advice. But the thing is, then I would have to restart the stream. So, it's one caveat. But we, in a way, we did restart. We had to force Colima to stop here. It was something I had left it running like overnight. I ran an update on my computer last night. It was taking a while, so I just left it on. Went to bed. It's been on all day, even though I haven't been using it. And yeah, somehow, oh, I think it actually did restart itself during the update. I don't remember now. But yeah, we essentially did restart. That's good advice. Thank you. All right, now can I run the tests? Docker compose up. Now the other thing I broke. MPOSE. Oh, okay, we're good. Postgres databases were running. I forgot to daemonize that, or run that in the background, so we'll open a new shell. We now are in the app directory in the poetry environment. We can just run coverage, run manage py test. Takes a bit, and no, actually cancel that. Keep DB. So that it doesn't run the migrations every time. Lesson learned from the previous episode. Jacob, where are you at in the world? I'm in Finland. Is it Jacob or Jakob? How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce your name? In Finland, there's a lot of like kind of common sort of English names, but the pronunciation here is different because the Finnish language is very phonetic. Every letter has a standard pronunciation, whereas English is messy. But so somebody named Jacob in Finland, well, they would be called Jakob. So that's why I ask. All right, tests ran. Did the covered report change or no? Coverage report. Oh, hey, Deku. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Now, let's see if the migrations, if these management commands are listed here. And it shouldn't be scanning migrations, whatever. I've got a coverage RC, but apparently that's only for code cov. Okay, okay. Oh, huh. Addresses, card, community, contact. I need content migrations. Yeah, like, it's only finding. Ah. Maybe it's only finding imports from the test. It's like tracing the tests or something. Not sure what's going on. Content, these management commands are maybe a little bit special for Django. Huh. But this shared file is just a regular Python file. Alright, well, let's go ahead and write some tests in the shared file. I'm gonna have to figure that out though, because this content migration is crucial to the project. Okay, well, it found that management, oh, commands, shared. Okay, so we'll come over here to this test. I'll think about adding that. And we'll write a test for create image block. Let's see if we've already got one for that. No, apparently not. Nothing is under test there. All right, cool. And this is going to be a test case because it's going to interact with the database. This should fail because it's not even correct. This returns a tuple of a string. Oh, okay. Maybe it will work. Let's try it. What I can do is run my test debugger. Python Django tests with keepdb. Very cool. All right, it's kind of a nice evening for some code. I've added the little bit of background music. Let me know if that's too loud or anything. I'm just trying to keep it kind of relaxing for the viewers. I can't hear the music, but it's kind of nice to have something there. It's a bit of generative music. I've got a couple of ideas kicking around about how to make this even more like random generative, and maybe add a little bit of nature sounds or some oddities, like those what do they call them, spherics, or those kind of reflected I can't remember, radio bands in the stratosphere. Some spherics. Just some weird stuff. Spherics, tweaks, and whisper. Something like this. Just some strange. This is radio waves produced by human beings and transmitters, and low frequency radio waves from a number of natural sources can be detected in the Earth's atmosphere. Lightning strikes generate bursts of radio waves known as radio atmospherics or spherics, which only last a few milliseconds but can travel for thousands of kilometers in the waveguide formed by the Earth and ionosphere. Spherics typically have frequencies in the very low frequency range, VLF, of 0.1 to 10 kilohertz. When spherics propagate over long distances, the different frequencies penetrate the ionosphere to different depths, disperse, and arrive at different times, creating a sound similar to birdsong. Hence, waves in the 1 to 7 kilohertz range are called tweaks. Radio waves from lightning strikes may escape the ionosphere and pass into the magnetosphere. Here they interact with free electrons traveling along magnetic fields to create VLF radio signals of decreasing frequency called whisper. Samples of these different radio bursts can be heard at the NASA Space Weather website. That would be cool if I can find like an online real-time spherics and whispers and tweaks radio station and pop it in here, and we could just hear like these Earth things going on. Similar things would be like radio communications and numbers stations, kind of mixing all those together in some kind of a generative collage, so to keep your ears occupied. All right. Anyway, that's a pretty cool thing. I'll post this in the chat if anyone's interested in checking out the sounds of these. They're quite cool sounding. There we go. Or yeah, I suppose that's, you can't really click that, but there it is. Okay. So my test failed. All right. Yeah, so this was just, as you probably saw, this test was just written by Copilot. It doesn't quite know the function signature and things like that, so not a big deal. But it has, it's generally helpful, but you gotta sanity check things, and I didn't. So yeah, this create image block, I should have import. There it is. And yeah, this is just a type warning saying, hey, you're passing it the wrong information. So maybe now, what I need to pass it is file bytes. So essentially, fetch file bytes for the input URL. Let's see if this works. And I actually need an image. So what can we use? What's an image that we can use? I used one up here, I think. All right, so what I'll do is just move this to a constant. I don't know if the Django testing framework has fixtures. And I need to fix both of these. And then come back down and just fix that test. Western front logo and fix this one. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that test will now work. And so we're grabbing the file bytes for that logo. File bytes dot file bytes. That should work. Now let's see. File bytes needs. Just added that, didn't I? Now we're good. All right. Output image block. No. What's going on? Oh yeah. File name and file bytes. This is why I'm adding this MyPy stuff and general typing, type hinting and stuff like that. File name first and file bytes. But yeah, it's the same thing since I'm using named. Yeah, cool. And there's a bit of help from Copilot. Now, hopefully our test will pass. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Here and run. Very cool. Let me hop over in the multi-stream chat, make sure I'm not missing any messages. I can't really see them on the screen here. There we go. Yeah. Space weather, glossary, inspire. Ah, yes, there's a 404 on that page, but yeah, you got the idea, I think. Okay. Dictionary has no attribute URL. Yes, again, this was auto-generated. So what we're going to get here is a tuple with a string and an image. The image... Uh-huh. Well, I'll just check the type. It's a tuple. Okay. It's a dictionary. So if it's a dictionary, then I can just do this. I can't remember the properties here. File name. I don't think I need that. File name equals string friend logo file name. Maybe that'll work. Do that and hit this play button nowadays. The play button's nice because then I can put some breakpoints here and actually inspect this. So if we fail here, I'll step through it and just see what's going on. I'll look at this output image block. But I think, just inspecting the code here, maybe that's enough. Let's find out. Oh, an error. Okay. Attribute error. Yeah, so let's just check it out. All right, no problem. Put a breakpoint there and rerun that. This breakpoint thing is a luxury. I forgot how nice it is. My day job, we can't do breakpoints because we can't run the code locally. It's really a weird situation, but it's not one that's unique to our team. It's pervasive. It's across our organization and across the industry. When you're doing kind of microservice-y things or service-oriented architecture or whatever you want to call it, where there's so many interdependencies between various project code bases and services that are running in cloud layers and things. We can't just start manage PyRun server on our local machine because we'll have dependency failures for authentication. And it's weird. It's just weird. All right, so we get this output image block. What can we test against here? Well, we do have an image, and this image has a width, and that image has an image. What? Wait. Image. Yeah, no, that's what I was doing. An image is an image, which has, well, let's see. It has a file name. Ah, my bad. Let's go. That's all. I would have seen that here. No, I wouldn't have seen that here, perhaps. And the file name is... Logo 2020, transparency 120. Yes, this should pass. Continue. Very cool. So it's nice to be back to the basics, back to the land, so to speak, running some Django development. In coming weeks and months, I might be starting to look more at Dart and doing a little bit of mobile, multi-platform development, client-side development. Stay tuned. I don't know if this will manifest, but in any case, this Django project is my focus for the next, at least solid 2 months. We're trying to launch is why. We want to launch this project in around August. We've been working on it for 5 years. At a slow pace, step by step, but progressing the whole time. But now I'm ramping it up because, well, if we don't launch by August, we're going to have to kind of scrap the whole thing, and that's not cool. Okay, hey, a little bit of difference there. Pull measure. So it looks like, okay, I see. Looks like there's some random suffix applied by wagtail or something. Oh, so. Starts with. That's a kludgy. Test, but slice equals slice. Like that. It's not the prettiest. But it should do the trick. You can see that Copilot is supportive, and if you kind of prompt it a bit, tell it sort of what you're trying to achieve, with variable names, sometimes comments, it can get you there, but you still got to kind of know what you're trying to achieve and like how the code works to a certain extent. Either by running the code and saying, oh, that's not working, or help, you got to kind of debug it. So you're basically pair programming. As far as my experience with Copilot, it's a good pair programmer. Maybe it's going to get a lot better, probably, but there might be an upper threshold of the effectiveness of these tools until the next generation comes. These are just my thoughts. I don't have any predictions, but just observing how it works now, it is a good pair programming assistant, hence the name Copilot. Cool, we got a running test. I'm going to leave this init file here, because that should be there. And then a test for create image block. Cool, improving the coverage step by step. Now, I think this fetch file bytes. Okay, we're throwing an error here. Oh, that's not read. So I need to handle this case. Okay, no problem. I mean, it's essentially with PyTest raises, but I don't know how to assert that in Django. We might turn to first Copilot, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Stack Overflow. I'm noticing now my preference is sort of starting with the local tool Copilot, the local cloud-based tool, then moving to the artificially intelligent assistant ChatGPT, because it is very gives you the exact thing you're asking for in a lot of ways. Then Stack Overflow, which requires more searching and consideration and possibly asking my own question, which then has got its own series of challenges. So yeah, that's the kind of, I think, workflow I'm taking. So here we'll look for this fetch file bytes. I think I have to have some tests for it already. So we just find those existing tests. Here it is. So test fetch file byte raises. That's all I'm gonna say. Here's what it raises, but don't tell Copilot. Tests. None. It will not let me. It won't let me write that test. It does take a string. Raises exception. Yeah, that's cool. So it raises file not found error. See, it's close, but not quite. Doesn't exist yet, but maybe someday. Please don't break my test.com. It raises requests. Request exception. Yeah, let's import that. Let's import that bad boy. Yeah. Now, I think we've got a test. Oh, used to that. Used to running things in the console there. "13 tests. Could not get past. Alright, that's just my little logging there, I suppose. Am I printing that? Yeah. I'm logging that. Anyway. It worked. Now I have spammy tests. Why would it do that? Django test suppress logger? Google. Something like that? How can I disable logging while running unit tests? Yeah, see, with the mature framework, it's been around for a while. People have done this stuff. Yeah, I was thinking you put that right there. Setup is good. I wonder if I put logging disable in at the top level here, if that would affect other modules. Logging. Disable. Logging critical. Import that bad mamma jamma. Rerun these tests here. I keep doing that. Rerun these tests. Here. Is there a keyboard shortcut? Or this button? Shortcut? Yep, found my tests. Running them. Yep, thank you. Settings pi. That's interesting. Actually, might want to do that. Hmm. Yeah, disable logging in tests project wide. I don't think I'll be using logging in tests, particularly not since I've got the debugger now. So yeah, project. That's a good one. I'll upload that one in a minute. Core settings base. I'll just put this up at the top so I don't forget about it. Right around here. Then I can actually remove it. Move it from there. So let's actually roll that back. Make sure it works. No. This one. Oh. Ah, yeah, you can't run the debug Python file. You have to run the management command. Okay, management command. Now, is there a keyboard shortcut for that command? That would be super nice. Can you put keyboard shortcuts in your launch, Jason? Anyway. Very good. This is a great one. It doesn't quite have so many upvotes. It works. Okay. We will commit those changes. Git. Ooh, where? Oh, it's still running? What's going on? I should give myself just a plain language explanation here. I know it's, you can read it, and I see test at the end of the line, but maybe if I just add a little comment there. Open the file. Open the file. Just a friendly reminder what I'm trying to do here without having to parse Python syntax. Well, that is a good secret, but that's what I'm trying to say. So there it is, Copilot. Good, sometimes surprisingly bad, but give it a little bit. It usually gets it right. Some of this stuff is really confusing, so I just like to add myself a little friendly reminders of like the why, and sometimes even explain code that's a bit dense. You could probably figure this out. Well, I have to think about not like parsing Python syntax length of something greater than that, but then I have to think what's just an argv, what's it used for. There's a lot of mental gymnastics I need to do to understand that line, but I can just say, hey, disable logging while running tests. If I've explained it to myself, I'll move on. I don't even have to read that code. So I don't know. There's debate about comments and stuff. I don't think there's you can't say an extreme about comments. Do or don't use them. But I generally think you should have comments somewhere in your project, and there's particular types of comments that people conventionally will use. All right, so add phrases. It's a good test. We will push these up and see if I can get my code coverage report updated. Okay, so that was good. Stack Overflow. Turned to Stack Overflow first there, didn't I? Still a good reflex. Still a good reflex. Alright, this is a big one. Pardon me. I need to write some tests here. This one will need some setup and teardown. I can do that. That's a fun one. This one I've got tests. I haven't tested the type error. Maybe I'll start with how to even get that to fail. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just take a quick break. And we will continue. I think we're going to continue with this one. This is a critical one. It's I'll describe its purpose here in a minute, but I will be right back. All right, thanks for your patience there. You know, I was thinking about it actually. Writing these unit tests is kind of fun, especially with Copilot. I've avoided these unit tests for a while, but now they give me something real concrete to focus on. I'm getting coding assistance. So it's like a kind of a guide helping me out, figuring out some of the more complicated tests. And it's like a very meaningful task. We want to make sure our code runs as we would expect it, so tests are very important for that. Yeah, so I'm just enjoying writing unit tests, surprisingly. So for this one, we'll have a setup function, and we're going to create some database objects. First, we'll just try I've got a test for each of those three conditions. I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the coverage tells us, but we have this unique identifier. And this should actually be unique across these three collections: persons, meetings, and organizations. They're all we're treating them as contacts. They have just a little bit of difference in their data structure, so I modeled them in the database as different tables. I probably could unify them into a single contact entity and somehow make things a lot easier. But for example, a person has a first name, has a given name and family name. That doesn't make sense for meetings and organizations. They just have a title. So I couldn't quite, I just thought, well, for pragmatic reasons, I will put them in separate containers and treat them as a common thing, which meant when I want to fetch one of them based on the ID, which is unique in Drupal, everything has an ID. Those IDs are unique. I need to search these three collections and kind of chain them together to results, which should either all be empty or two should be empty. And so if everything's empty, then we will have an error that we couldn't find anybody. But if there's more than one that return a result, there's some kind of data issue that needs to be cleaned up. I'm going to just write this test here Maybe someday I'll figure out a way to converge these into just contact objects and put a unique constraint on Drupal author ID and not even need this function. It'll just be literally one line of code. It is one line of code in the calling context, but I won't need this whole thing to test and debug. But all right, let's see how far we can get with this one. We're at just over an hour. It's only 8 o'clock here. I can probably go for another hour. I feel all right. Not too tired. So if you're interested in continuing, let's move forward. So this is a unique thing. This is our first time we've worked with this one. Get CFG. I'm alphabetizing these. I don't know if it does that for me. Oh, I need to fix the working tree. Done with that. G, comma. Yeah. Now we'll learn about setup and teardown. All right. Contact. Well, this actually should be contact, but it's a bit different. And test case. Set up. Yes, escape. And it's pretty good. So since I called it contact, it's kind of trying to guess. And it's even, it's guessing Django-y stuff. Django. So you got the first line right, but the rest of it's wrong. All right, so self Drupal equals 1. That's good. Drupal. I used to say. I still like to say Drupal. Like friendly. It's your pal. But it's not the right one. The right thing to say. It's a bit tricky here because I have 3 different contacts person. Something like that. Self-person objects create. That's correct. Drupal author ID, self-person, Drupal author ID. That's good. And person needs a given name. Let's see what given BAME. And a family name. Family name. Hey, it's pretty good at it's helping me out here. Yeah, good stuff. And this is pretty good. It's just title though. So it's not like Copilot's not seeming to inspect our code like a language server or LSP would do. Language server protocol, I guess. Well, you know, MyPy or the like will give you language server protocol results that help you with the actual structures, auto-completing, filling in the details. When I dismiss that, the little drop down that appears, then I'm turning control over to Copilot. So Copilot's getting confused a bit in the meeting. It's pretty good though. So this is Copilot, this is Copilot, and that's Copilot. So then it kind of gets the gist of it from the pattern above. Not bad. And now this is the language server protocol helping out. So using these tools to support your development, you know, is highly recommended. I think we'll just in the tear down, we will then tear all these down, but let me read this a little bit closer. Yeah, meeting organization. Okay, now we're gonna run a test. What kind of test should we do? Test get existing. It's a bit different, but I think it's this right here. Still have that there. And this returns an entity. And I don't know the entity at this point. All I have is this number, and I have to kind of match it up. But maybe this will work. Let's see if that tests. Okay, running the tests up here. If that test works. Hello, chat. Let me know your experiences with unit testing. What kind of test frameworks are you using? Do you do Python development, JavaScript development? In Python, we use PyTest, and in Django, it's got its own framework. But what have I heard? Jest, I think, in JavaScript. Jest is a pretty popular one, I think. Maybe still. I have not worked with Jest recently. All right. Okay. This is a bit challenging. This is because of Wagtail. Yeah, no problem. Just briefly to explain this, Wagtail has a content model that every published item is part of a tree, and you start with the root page, they call them pages, and you publish the root page, like the home page. Then you have sub pages, like a website is like organized around these kind of ideas of sub pages in different levels. So Wagtail organizes its content similarly. So basically what I need to do is create like a root page, and then create in the setup function, create the root page, create the, what is it called? People index page, meeting index page. I'll have to look at this real quick. I've not worked with this code recently. We'll just run this. It's not a big deal, but that's why we're getting this kind of weird error about the path. It's trying to figure out the URL path basically, or the in a way it's actually the tree, the path in the tree, and Wagtail has some internal stuff that handles that for us. So it took me a while of seeing, like I would see this and not understand what I was doing wrong. But it's trying to create a person, but there's no tree. You can't put the person into thin air. That's basically what's happening. So for our contact models, there's a particular way they're organized. In Wagtail, we define those with parent and child relationships, or what's the exact a meta? So I've got a person model here and sub page type. So parent page type says a person can be defined under the person index page. And I might just consolidate these to like a contact index page that lists all contacts. But I don't know. I think there's enough distinction between people, meetings, and organizations that they take special treatment. But what this basically means is I just need to create the site root, or the home page. Actually, was what that is, home page. Seems I need to scaffold initial content. Huh. I have a command for this. I'm duplicating parts of that command. So if I look at my content migration, this was trickier than I thought, but okay. Alright, so I've got content migration, management commands. I have this baseline command that creates our site content for us. And inside of here, I basically do this. I'll figure out a composable way of doing this. We need to return this root page and home page from a function, for example. Oh, for now I'll just do that in the test. I don't know. So I'm figuring out where the wagtail things are. Does this work? No, you gotta have the core, I think. No, they found it. They refactored recently. Wagtail models now. Alright, so we got the page. Let's go back to this setup function. Did I forget to commit something here? And homepage. So this is in our app. So once we got the home page, then we will create the index pages for contacts. And to create, oh, where did I go? Create the community page. I almost should just run this, but the thing is, like, now I'm getting into a bit of a tangle. I can't tear this command down. This is like, it fails to rerun. There's some kind of weirdness in here that the way I've written this, I can't rerun that without clearing out the database, unfortunately. I think I'll end up with a bunch of duplicate pages, and some of them won't let you have duplicates. Some of them are unique, like kind of singleton pages. Other things, I can't tear it down. This is not a reversible option, so I can't rerun it, can't tear it down. I don't want to drop the database every time I run the tests, because the migrations take forever. I'm just going to end up duplicating a bunch of code until I figure out a better way forward. The key is I get these tests written. That's what I'm after. Underneath the home page. Once I see a kind of a pattern, I'll be able to improve it. Then we add the community page to the home page, right here. I'm just constructing this tree, page by page, just the section of the site we need on a more or less empty database. I think I might, in the tear it down, I can then reverse this community page. Now from the community page, we create 3 children. Those are down here. We will create organization person and meeting index pages. I'm just going to close this right now while I keep clicking it. And you can think of these as sort of like folders that hold content. Some way of organizing the content, as well as a way of navigating it, because these pages actually automatically generate the URL paths and things like that. So with Wagtail, it's pretty cool. You don't even need to write view functions for the most part. You just sort of define your page model, and Wagtail does all the routing for you. It is cool. It saves you a lot of time. I need to make sure I save the community page. So we're going to add meeting index page. I need to make sure I save the home page instance. It's quite verbose. Sorry, it's not that great. Code to read. Actually, both lines. And then homepage save just in case. Yeah. Oh, that's correct. And now get our imports working here with our language server protocol. This is page. Homepage page. But this is an example. I don't think I would have been able to write a TDD approach to this, or at least I'm not sure how I would have decomposed this step by step. Did we get our imports correct? Save, get the imports. There we go. All right, now I think at this point, be able to add people, and they kind of appear in the right place. Let's find out. Otherwise, I just do the same add child, save, parent. Run it. Debugging. Same, we can't find the path, and it's which line? Force person objects create, so yeah, so basically I just need to do this, and then each of these pages, add them. Hopefully that'll work. And yes, really good stuff from Copilot. It accelerates your development. It just helps you move a little bit faster. And I think that's one common theme I'm picking up from a lot of the people who are working with these tools and analyzing them. Yeah, there's some potentially very threatening things that we need to be cautious about. But in practical sense, the way I've experienced it in my daily work is it's an amplifier. And, you know, hopefully they won't replace a lot of people. I think they might just make us more effective, able to do more work more efficiently. That's my optimistic outlook. We'll see how it holds. I'm enjoying using the tools though. Okay, we've got an error. I've got a syntax error. So that's something I can fix right here. keep doing that. They don't save us from syntax errors. All right, welcome YouTube viewers. Let me know what you're thinking in the chat about the unit testing, or generally these artificial intelligence personal assistant tools. I guess you could frame them as that. So far they haven't broken out of their container and run rampant on the internet to my knowledge, but they could possibly be doing that. Hey, we've got the setup function working, very cool. And the test worked, very good. So that was actually a pretty heavy one. A lot of setup involved there, but it makes sense. You have to kind of get the environment set up correctly, running any necessary preconditions, such as pages in a hierarchy, in this case with Wagtail. Then once you've got the conditions, then you run your tests and make your assertion against the output. You run your function and assert. We'll assert that 3 times, so we kind of in one go we will, I guess it's suggesting to do that. It's not quite correct, but pretty good. And we'll run one more. Getting existing meeting from database. And now it got the function correct. So yeah, you can see it's like learning from the context. It's making sort of informed guesses from the nearby context, but then once it sees a broader pattern, it's like picking up on that. Let's run these tests. Understand why I'm so slow. Great, so we have all the positive cases. I'll just commit those and we'll run some negative cases. So I need to test for both of these, where it returns no result and where it returns more than one result. In other words, where we've got a duplicate author ID in like multiple collections or in the same collection, I suppose. I think I have a uniqueness constraint on the same. Okay, so the negative test cases. And I have to be careful here not to break the positive test cases. So I think in if I recall, does this setup run before the whole suite or run before each item? See if somebody has had a similar question there. So. Well, Do you see any more instances set up? It says aside from where it was defined. Let's try that same search in my little wagtail Django discussion here. What was my search query? I'm going to try the exact same one. Does Django setup run before each test item? That's really ambiguous. I didn't quite have a good query for Google. Before each test. Wow. This is a personal assistant. It's just auto-generating the response. I didn't, I didn't query Google very effectively, but I used that same rather lacking phrase, even missing punctuation, capitalization. Got a very sophisticated response. That's exactly what I need to know. It even describes what's going on with the code. Yes, that's really useful. And this is why I'm cautiously optimistic about these tools. So the negative case, I think then since these run before each test, if I attach these to self, everything just attaches to self, then I can create a couple more. Couple more instances. So there's a duplicate. So now it's knowing that it's picking up that I'm wanting to raise an exception here. So that's good. This is really nice. Sometimes you can put your cursor on a blank line and even just get a prompt for free, just to prompt your own thinking, like, oh yeah, I should handle that, shouldn't I? So let's see. Magazine author does not exist. So this is not the code though. That I'm not actually raising, I'm logging. Oh. Okay. Yeah, and these don't raise. If it doesn't come up with anything, And also it's magazine authors, not the it would be person. So that kind of begs the question, should I actually raise here? That would make this code more testable. I would then need to handle the exception in the calling context, which is fine. I would want to raise a generic. I would want to define two custom exceptions here. Yeah, one for could not find matching contact, one for found duplicate contacts. Let's do that. Let's improve the code testability by defining these custom error classes. And just errors.py right here. It looks good. Now, how do we define these error classes? So, class. And it should inherit from exception. I think they should end with error, but inherit from exception, if I recall correctly, stylistically. There, we got a couple of these, and interestingly, exception is already in context. It's cool. So then, back to this actual function, we will be in the shared pie. We're making our code more testable while also writing test cases. These are both parts of the strategy here. The mission or goal is to increase the confidence that the code works as expected, and some strategies are, refactoring, breaking it down into smaller parts. What's the word for that? So it's more testable, making it more granular. There's a word for that. I'll remember later. Adding test coverage reporting, then chipping away at the parts that are not on test. These are all strategies that we're taking. And so we will find where I'm calling, where I've defined this. There it is. And, we can still log here. And log, then raise. And so it remembered my duplicate contact error. Actually, it suggested a better name. Which I can now save. And then import. That's my test. There we go. Yeah, now we're raising. So anywhere we call this, I just need to catch. I was trying to copy that. Okay, so I'm using it in several places. So here's actually, it'll be a little bit of an improvement. I'll catch those and I can just continue the loop. Try. We should have logging already in place as well. So that's correct. And let's see if Copilot can get my exceptions. An object does not exist. Okay. Pretty good though. And then what's it going to suggest? Continue. Nah. I don't want to add the error logging here. And the exception is different. Got two of them. We're gonna handle both with continues. Where am I going? Got like tab dyslexia. Wait, no, just one level, please. So, let's see. Can you do a union? Can you do a union of exceptions? Python. Statement. Question mark. Capitalization. Ah, yeah, very cool. So yeah, we'll just grab them all. Catch them all in this Pokeball. Giving me a lengthy answer, that's really good. Which tab? And I need to use the comma. Okay, good. Import. Helper. Language server. And readability. Can I just do that? A little easier on my eyes. Ah. My formatter didn't like that. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna. Oh, you know what I can do though if I put the trailing comma. Trailing comma. In which case, we've already got logged errors. We should already have logged errors at least. Let me check my logging and shared. Or do I want to use this? Actually, maybe I do want to raise those errors here. Isn't the... Yeah, I'm adding specific logging for the different importers. My logging statements will be a bit, repeated there. Well, first, let me get my try accept in place. Save this so that white dot goes away. I think this. So then, basically, we're just going to repeat this. Repeat that here. And then get my imports. And then this is pretty much the same. In other places, looks like I'm trying to get author here and then here. Take that. We have to cast those to int. If we can't get it, oh yeah, and the other thing, the other bonus here, actually I need to be careful. And not continue. Well. And just really quickly, can this return none? Is that something I wanted? Yeah. Am I going to make it more strict now? But by raising, then you can't return. Can't return none anymore. I don't know if my Pi is going to like that. But since I've got these checks, it's kind of bracketing it. It can only return one or raises. Alright. In that case, then you can be returning none. And since I don't have a counter conditional here, and it will have just continued, it's implied that contact exists. So we're going to be a little bit careful here. I don't think Copilot, for example, can do a refactoring like this, although I have an idea, I have a clever idea. I don't know if it's clever, it probably is not even a good idea. But I'm going to paste some code into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you refactor this so it's more readable and testable? Something generic like that, and see what it suggests. I have a big function in mind. We'll look at it in code coverage in a minute. And we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. But first, let me do the human brain refactoring. Okay. Oh, yep, that's our function. It can return, it has to return one item. The zeroth. Alrighty then. So we're gonna try that. It is guaranteed to exist. At this point, contact exists. Or what? What am I looking at even? Great. Alright, so I've got a yellow squiggle here. This doesn't return. Let's kind of be nice to ourselves and add these annotations. They're very helpful. Okay, so we're using NumPy. We're seeing if that authors exist. We're grabbing a list of them. We're mapping those to integers. Which I could have done in the other. I like that little approach. Mapping the integer, then I didn't need to cast it in there. Okay. So then I don't know if that can be none. Let's see if I can remove a simple check. My Pi can help me out here. I can help me out. Less is more. Less nesting is more. Less lines of code to think about. My Pi is not complaining, so it's saying that this author's list should be there, at least as an empty list. Yeah, and I suppose the check would be, yes, now it's saying this is not guaranteed, so I need to check if that list has an item. Yeah, that's the difference. So yeah, so get rid of the language server protocol, and then, hey, it's even adding a nice little comment there. Then I need that indentation back. Okay. Or equals 0. What do I do? Break? Forget. I looked this up the other day. Break? I mean, we're not returning. Return. Early return. Then we know it can't be none. Then we get this shallow indentation with it using early return. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. My colleague Augusto always points out when we can use this early return. Oh no. This can't. There's something else here I'm just not thinking about. Like this is incompatible with map integer. Expected size. Ah. Yeah, so I just need to like reduce that. I don't even know if that's correct. Okay, good guess. Basically this, no, it's not a good guess. It has no method to reduce. Well, I don't know. Or just list. Actually, that's what I'm trying to do is list. I want it to be a list, so that's reducing it to a list. Map is applying this method to each, and it returns a map instance, I suppose. And returns a map object, and then I want to cast that to a list of integers. It's a bit dense, but get each other ideas. An integer is what I'm after. Then our code is in good order. My goodness. Now, something ain't right. Oh, nice. I like this. They are technically integers in the database, but when I export them to CSV, everything becomes a string. And then when I re-import them, I need to start thinking about proper data types again, unless I use pandas, but I'm removing the pandas dependency from things. So everything's a string, and I need to decide basically how strict I want to be with data types and at what layers of the cake I should be, validating or casting and things like that. And MyPy is just helping me out. Like, this is just telling me, hey, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot here. You didn't think about it, but this is the wrong argument type. Very cool. So type annotations, very useful. I'm glad they're coming to Python, and I'm glad to learn more about them. But the key is, where do I want to do it? Maybe just don't need to cast here. Thing is, I did that in another one. I did it over here. No, yes, but and here's a different way of mapping those, splitting it and then casting to an int. Why didn't it complain here? It's a list of integers. This is an integer. This expects a string. This, an integer. One thing I can make it is more resilient. String or integer. I don't have that. Primogen was criticizing people who don't have the pipe key on their keyboard, but it's a real thing. I have a Nordic keyboard, there's no pipe. I can't just get another, I can just get another keyboard, that's what his response was, but this is a real deal. Okay, so where's the pipe key? On. I have to paste it every time from someplace. I'd like to just get that. They don't have like a Finnish keyboard layout for some reason. To the left of 1. I do have this. I have this problem. It's kind of that problem. Ah. Thought I was already there. Well. Alright, here we go. We're going to try all of these out. Oh, here, I can just copy and paste. Now, I'm going to get this. Alt-Ger, backtick. That's the Danish one. Okay, so Alt-Ger. This is so awkward. Backtick. Alt-Ger. Just give me that. I don't have an Alt-Ger. This one says it's there. The Danish one gives me that. Alt gives me that. Norwegian Asami says that. Alt Shift. Ooh. Wow, cool. What's that do? I'll shift that. Ooh, but that's a nice one. Alt-Ger on the Swedish. Gives me that. Gers give me that. Ooh. If you couldn't get a single Alt-Ger by using single pipe by using, I was using Norwegian. Well, let me check here. F. My keyboard. Settings. Sorry, just sometimes these things are so annoying. Just you gotta kind of deal with them sometimes. I've found it before, like I searched and I found it. My input source is Finnish. It's like Finland doesn't exist. Honestly though, when I lived in the United States, I didn't know Finland was a country. That was my ignorance. I mean, I kind of did, I'm sure, but didn't really register Finland as like a unique place and people. Called Suomi, actually. I think in the same way that people don't probably think much about Kansas, where I'm from originally. So, you know, probably cuts both ways. Finnish. It exists. You know what? I'm going to chat GPT it. Swedish. Sweden. How do I do it? To the right. Yeah, it's true. Shift plus hit twice. Hey. Oh wait, shift plus key to the left of the shift key. The key to the right of the left shift key. That's not the key to the right of the left shift key. Using the key to the right of the left shift key. The key with the greater than and less than symbols. That is there. Here's how to type it. Shift plus the key. To right or left shift key. Alt shift? Alt shift? I don't know. I don't know. It's really annoying. Alright, so what am I even needing this pipe for? I've completely forgotten. Something. Type annotation. Of the input. Input. Yeah, that's why I'm spaced there. Now we'll make it a little more resilient. I'm using a little helper here. So let's see, I just hit this comment, cast, convert to if necessary. I hit the C key. Yeah. And yeah, it shouldn't matter if you try to cast it into itself or to its own class. Alright, so now we're a little bit more friendly there. Not such an easy win on this pipe character. I'm still having to copy and paste that. Figure it out one day. Now in my pie, shouldn't complain so much. Now back to thinking. So for each of these, if we can't find it, what do we want to do? This is actually obsolete code. I should just clean this up while I'm here. I have a function that's importing archive article authors, but we've converged everything. I'll clean that up here while I'm at it. And that means this will be obsoleted. Archive article authors. By way of, as a symbolic gesture, I will add a bunch of hash marks. Hashtags, as we say nowadays. Yes, and then should get some complaints about that one. Let me come back to those complaints. Just got two more places I'm using this. 1, 2. Gotta define. Now I've got my test case. I'm using it here. And here. It's my import. So if it's not none, try. Just indenting this one. Accept. And here's another place I'll use this early return. I've got this else condition. And I like stating conditionals in the positive case if possible. So if meeting author ID is none, continue. And log. Log and continue. Then we don't need that else. Then we don't need this check anymore. Then we have just a try catch. Yeah, a little bit cleaner. Early return, early continue. Early return, early continue, early exception. You know, kind of the same pattern. Break, basically, if the conditions aren't met. Same pattern here. And come to think of it, this one I'm getting this ID from the database, but in this case, I'm fetching a record from the database, so the try catch will give me the continue, and I'll log. I already even have the logging in place. But here's back to the question, where should the logging occur? This one gives me context-specific logging that I was trying to import a memorial person contact. And it's configured to log to a more relevant file name. I think I'll leave the logging in the calling context. I'll raise the exception, remove the logging from the exception handler, and add it back. Yeah, that's clear. Pattern. Okay, so back to this. So this is just try catch. It's a bit can this be none? That, oh, the heck, nice, there we go, accept, duplicate error, continue, and essentially we're checking for that here, so we'll just do that. We're continuing. And we don't need... maybe a little bit of help. Helpful reminder there. And if that's right, I did a variable I see. I will be adding unit tests, but I've got to get these to register. Or move them to shared, for example. That's probably what I'll do. Take everything out of this handler and wrap it in a top level function. Move it into... it's not shared at that point, but utils? I don't know. Just if I define at the top level here, maybe that'll work. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I need to test these because there's a lot of logic here that is invisible to our test reporter. And it's critical, mission critical code. What's this one saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, gotta be careful about copy paste. But this is the tooling helping me avoid silly mistakes of just not paying attention. I'm getting kind of tired, it's a bit late, and it's been over 2 hours, so this is the time when the fatigue naturally kicks in. I'd better not move this too, better not prolong this too much more. So I think at this point my refactor's done. Let me move the logging while that's fresh on my mind while I have these search results. And there's something else now I've forgotten. I have it right here though, don't I? No. Shoot. Yeah, it was removing the code that's now broken from the memorial, the archive authors importer. Let me just do that while it's right on my mind. I have my search results in place. Import. Oh, comment this out. I'll leave it in. Import. Archive articles or archive issues. There's not that. There's no longer that importer. I think that was just a dead function. I'll search for. It's commented out, so I'll search for usages. Essentially, now I'm going to close a couple things and just raise these loggers to the right context. So raise them out of the shared here into the calling context. Into the calling context. So that was calling it. This is commented out now. And now import archive articles. Here. Except needs just to log something. Problem is these are different errors, so they need different error messages. Okay. I don't have a logger defined here. Oh, I'll do that. We'll fix that right up. That's something I'm adding to all of these. So, the restroom. Where was I? Here we go. Duplicate contact error. And thank you. For our logger, we will just. What do I have in my buffer? Set that up. I don't know how to argue. Augment that. Annotate that. Where are we editing here? What is important? Library items? Yeah. So library items didn't have a logger configured. So we'll do that first thing. Import our logging library. And this is import library items. Should just call it what it is. These just add up. These little inconsistencies add up. This way it groups all my logging files together in a little semantic bundle. I don't need to log there. Import library items. Okay. Moving the... So that was just renaming the logger. I've added logging to the cases, so that one's looking good. Library items is looking good. Memorials. Got a logger. Logging. But. Shift, backspace. It takes me at least a little fewer keystrokes. Duplicate error. Yeah, a bit verbose, but it's okay. That's a good one. Hope we're good to go, and I'll run these tests. Import, archive. I think this is just author. I'm getting beyond scope here, but archive. Article author. Okay. Let me see what this function is doing. Apparently I've got a misunderstanding here. Yep. So it takes a list of authors. That's actually an important function. List of integers then. Where's the thing? You know, I'm tempted to get just like a US English keyboard. I've got all the major code keys, the pipe character. I don't use the Nordic stuff too often. Except the Euro. Use Euro keys. So then maybe there's one like a UK keyboard, but then they would have pounds. It's a bit of a quandary here. I'll figure it out. Alright, so then at least, let's put a trailing comma there. Trailing comma. Repeat. Format. Document. This is a string, huh? Okay. Ah. Well, it shouldn't be passed in here if it's... Now, wait a minute. Oh, I see what I did. Shoot. Oh, wait, no, this is cool. I just have a syntax here, that's why it's not formatting the code. Very subtle. But there it was. Red squiggles and everything. Alright, now we should have the formatting working and stuff like that. MyPy. Apparently this can be none. Why is it only finding? It's got the created and calling. Then I can check the NP nan argument wheel. I guess that's a good thing to have there. That when my function has a clean signature, it's got an expected data type. Honestly, I'd almost parse it here, but no, you gotta encapsulate some stuff. Let's go to the definition here. Control, click. And I'm not gonna debug or test this one just yet. We will come back to that. Let me ask the GPT thing. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, that they had to be imported somewhere in the test, then the coverage will... But everything else is being detected automatically. Whoa, 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 it's still doing it. Coverage.rc. Alright, let's, we'll add this, but that's a good answer. Asterisk. Getting there. Reorganization. See if there's any squiggles that just jump right out. Yeah, so that was just the wrong insertion. Good. That was the auto-generated insertion, and this actually now is the new one. No. My new error. Oh, I was hoping auto complete would help me there. Auto-complete, buddy. Commands. Errors. This one should raise. Could not. Come back to that. This needs the imports. Quick fix. Yeah. Oh. That not only does this add my management commands, but doesn't exclude everything else. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Actually, the only one that has management commands is the content migration. So I might just do that. To be explicit. One more time, running these tests. Hey, the test passes, though. That's progress. Took me a while. I had to kind of dive into some code, refactoring that code to make it to the test, but we got there. It passed. I'll just run the test against the other exceptions. So now we're raising exceptions. We can test against those exceptions rather than just logging out. That's going to let us zero in right on these two lines that we'll be able to, we're raising exceptions. We'll be able to test those conditionals. Let's just see this. And grep. I'd grep it, but I can't get my pipe. It might be over here. Shift. Pipe. Oh, it's like on one of the slashes. 7 is back. Ooh, backslash though. That's handy. Fancy. Code report. Report. So everything seems to be unchanged. So the migrations and things are still there, but let's go to the C content. Content errors and shared. So yeah, I must have to do part B. This whole thing. No worries, no worries. Calling commands, so yeah. I'm gonna just add this as a to-do. Actually, get those imports while I'm here. And they'll be stripped out. If I don't use the, and there we are. They're in the code, so I'll come back to that. All right, so in order for this all to work, let me just mark that. I think I need to commit all these little dealies first. Hey. Maybe it was a lint. Trailing white space. Okay. There it is. So basically, well, I'll commit all of this at one. It was sort of one big effort. Yeah, I'm not trying to play commit golf or get a billion commits. I do want the commits to be meaningful, and I more or less just refactored these. Refactored the quite a number of things, but in summary, refactored as arrays. That was the idea. Let's see if I get my part errors. There's probably all sorts of things here. Formatting problems. That's why I'm using these tools to help me like pay attention to detail. It's really easy to lose sight of details. Alright, so mainly just some formatting stuff. Why is this suddenly appearing under my debugging console? What happened? How did this... Did I drag something? Yeah, somehow I was confused about where that went earlier. Pretty interesting. I didn't know you could drag things underneath other things. Alright, so there is some command output I need to pay attention to. I just added those. I see, I see. Yes. Line too long. Undefined name. Okay, this is good. Import magazine articles. Yes. So that's some details that I overlooked. Exactly. I have so many kind of moving parts going on right now. I was not noticing these squiggles. I got one tab blindness and GPT-itis. And these ones we can handle. Yeah, the same, and then, oh, there's none. That means it'll create it. Actually, I'll change the control flow here. So yeah, we're gonna try to get the author. If we can't get it, then we log at least. If we catch, log, continue. Otherwise, we can use it because we've got the article. This is now resilient. 2 strings are integers, so we don't need to technically do anything here. Just take that out. Alright. I think I got those squiggles gone. And a little bit of code improvement. So yeah, I was just like blurry-eyed. I was probably coming back to this one and had all those tabs open. Lost sight of it. And I think that's it. If this, barring, I'm able to get these fixed. Oh yeah, there was a couple more errors. That's right, line too long. All right, no problem. 81, import memorials. That's different. For memorials line, 81's too long. All right, let's see what we can do here. 81. That makes sense either. Then I need to... I'll just do no QA on that one. No QA. Is 501. Oh, I lost it. Dang it. Where are we going here? I think it was like right over here. It's probably this one. Let me just take an educated guess. No QA S. E501. Yeah, E501. Error number 501. Line too long. I don't mind that log message lines are long. That's kind of a tongue twister or something. Maybe for being the state of tiredness I am. Yeah, I'll be excited to get these under test. That'll be giving me a lot more confidence. It's gonna be some complicated tests, but maybe I can. What is it? Decompose? Where you've got a thing that's a big blob and it's composed, and then you take it and break it into smaller parts. I think it's called decomposing it. You decompose a function, you refactor it into smaller parts. Those parts are easier to test. Your test coverage increases, your confidence increases. Everything is good. Everybody's happy. And we can try to deploy. So I'm going to add both exception cases. I'm just going to go the long haul. We've got the could not find matching contact error. Essentially it. Bunch of, refactoring things and the import. I'm always cautious here. I like to manually stage, then commit, and see. There probably is some linting that's going to happen here. No. So for the other error, it's a bit trickier. But I forget the name of the error. Let me just take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll finish this one out. 2.5 hours. Let's push it to 3 hours. I think 30 more minutes. We should have that other one wrapped up. And then, as my computer is reminding me, it's time for sleep. All right, I'll be right back. All right, thanks for sticking with me. I think somebody stuck with me. One person. All right, good. Yeah, so this is a very similar case. We're going to import this other error so that I'll get a little bit more help from the language server and or Copilot. Copilot helped me there. Either. Yeah, I think it's just a separate case is good here. See what Copilot says? Tear down. Actually, that's pretty good. Oh, that was pretty good. That was interesting. I was kind of curious. That's order of operations didn't quite work. You can't delete your parent. That's strange. But okay, it's close. I mean, well, never mind. Let's not get too philosophical. But like in a position in a tree, if you delete your parent, you're going to be left dangling from nothing, basically. More or less that. Person organization meeting. So what we're going to do is create that's the gist of it. That's completely fake. Fake news. What we'll do is now create duplicate meeting. Duplicate. It's got to be in a different table. So this is looking for a person. Meeting. I think it wasn't it self? Ah, yeah. So here's the catch. Equals the person author ID. Let's try it. See if it gives a little bit more to go with. I'm curious. There we go. And whoops. That's correct. Yeah, you need that. That's a required field. Format. Yes, and then so we have the person with the person ID, and then this should now return the error, I believe. Let's try it out. And Command C, Command L, C, L, and run them. Ah, you know, I didn't save the meeting. You have to actually add it. Meeting index page add child. That's what is missing. In order to save the meeting instance, you have to add it as a child of a parent node. Then Wagtail internally saves it and gives it some other metadata like the path and things like that. You can't just save these directly. That was the error I got at the beginning of the session when I was writing the setup function to create the initial instances. So I had to construct the whole tree in order to be able to save the leaf nodes. let's just say, hey, no worry, don't worry about that. Try it again. Did it tear down? I'm not so super sure the teardown is correct, but well, let's check it out. There's an error. Okay. If we have two errors, it's probably my teardown. I'll comment out the teardown. We'll come back to that. That was a little bonus. This is probably it. Okay. To the setup. Don't scroll so fast. I think I just need to do self everything. Trailing commas everywhere. Everywhere. Self everything. Trailing commas everything. That just makes my code a little easier to remember. Consistently I can roll down. Self. What's this one saying? Missed one. All right. It's quite a lot. Oh boy, I'm gonna be waking up in the middle of the night tonight. Yeah. So just continuing. If you'll jump me to the line, I'll appreciate it. Yes. Where are my squiggles? Here, no. I don't see squiggles now. Alright, hopefully it will work now. That way my teardown function will tear everything down. I need to actually go through all those in the teardown as well. One idea that just occurred to me is I can create a base class for these tests where I need a scaffolded content for various reasons, and essentially define only the setup and teardown functions with those scaffolded with the scaffolded content. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Then I would need to. Oh yeah, you can just call self super. Yeah, then I could save some time there. And if I create any other instances or other things that need to be set up or torn down, I just use super. Bit slow. I think the setup and teardown added some overhead, but good. Our tests are passing. So let me just finish this teardown thing. Everything here. What I might do is just put these side by side. Can you put a self by side itself? I think so. Yeah. Alright, basically, I think what I'm going to do is just hop down here to this setup. It is a lot of setup, isn't it? Go all the way to the teardown. Alright. So, and I basically need to do these in reverse. Is the teardown even necessary? Well, I'm not. I'm keeping the database, so then, in a way, I'm basically polluting it with a bunch of other records. So here's what I gotta do. Self, root, delete. So from the top, work my way down. Home page, delete. After home page, we define the community page. After the community page, go to the organization, meeting, and person index page. Those can be deleted in any particular order, so long as we then delete person, organization, and meeting. And then I suppose I need to clean up that looks good. I think I need to clean up in the actual test. I'm not sure how strict you need to be, but since I'm using KeepDB, I don't want to risk polluting things. So in this test, where we create that, just go ahead and delete that. Looks good. Make sure my tests run. Now that I've done the setup and teardown. We'll commit, push, summarize, call it good. I just ran these updates. That's no longer relevant. Maybe the requests didn't get included. It is a lot slower with these setup and teardown methods. I don't have to run the whole test suite, granted. I can run individual tests. It's like as slow as the migrations. But they all pass, alright. Great, let's push these up. Open a pull request. Doesn't close is related to, I have a whole series of pull requests that are related to improving the test coverage. Usually it prompts me. I guess I've already pushed here. Draft it and come back to it. See if we get some early feedback now from the code coverage reporter. Okay. Okay, that doesn't work. I'll fix that later, but I'm going to try another thing. Well, here we go. In today's live coding hangout, we've been working on continuing the test suite for our content importers. Open up another pull request here. We've not only added some tests, but we've done some significant refactors, introducing some custom error classes, trying to improve our coverage reporting to include the management commands, and yeah, just generally getting our code more modular, easier to test against, so we have more confidence that things are working quickly, particularly since these content importers are so useful. So, thank you to everyone who's joined the live stream. Jacob Valenta, thanks for the tip on when I was struggling earlier to get the Colima started. Thank you to Deku for subscribing or for following. And I hope to see you all around. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for hanging out on the stream. See you later.